In the context of war, how significant is it for Ukraine to participate in Euro 2024? Why does Alexander Zinchenko frustrate Ukrainian fans? Was Mikhail Mudrik's deal to Chelsea overpriced? And what does the idiom to throw the spanner in the works mean? Hi, listeners. Welcome back to the Footglish Podcast, a football podcast that can help you level up your English. We're discussing Euro 2024 here. And for me personally, I believe for most of Europe, one of the biggest stories is, of course, Ukraine. I am glad to welcome to the podcast a Ukrainian fan, a Ukrainian himself. Marian, welcome to the Footglish Podcast.
Hi everyone. I'm glad to be here and thank you for your invitation. It's a good opportunity for me to talk everyone about our team and a little bit about Ukraine.
It's a real pleasure. Of course, we know your story, and I want to ask you the first question: how important is this for your country? How important is it to be at the Euros?
Now it's even it's the most important Euro for us because we can tell about the situation in Ukraine and about the war, and our players do it everywhere and in each their interview, and it creates opportunity for us to remind everyone about our problems. So it isn't just only about football, it's about more than football.
Absolutely, and I can totally agree, and that's the right way to do it. And your country has incredible spirit, and you don't give up. And I think this is another way to show it to those people who have been maybe ignorant or live in their bubble, because there are so many people in the world and in Europe as well who live in a bubble. Yeah, they are surrounded by the same friends. They follow the same social media and listen to the same politicians, and then this can lead to a disaster in this day and age. So it's important what you are doing, and it's important for your team to be at the Euros. That's at least my opinion.
Yeah, and it's important for all people who live in Ukraine and who can't live in Ukraine now, because it's great emotions and great things about which you can be happy, and just great emotions in this hard time.
And it's a morale boost. I can imagine it's a morale boost. Even the soldiers who are at the front lines, maybe I don't know if they have a chance to see the games, but at least they hear about it. They hear about the result. Now we are going to talk about your second game, which you managed to win. You beat Slovakia 2-1. We are recording on Saturday, so a day before that you managed to beat Slovakia. And I think it's important that you got those 3 points, don't you think? Because after your first unconvincing performance against Romania, where you lost 3-0, you needed this. Would you agree?
Yeah, and this thing which you mentioned before, that our soldiers watch our football match, and this is true, because not all of them, but some of them have this opportunity to watch, and it's also great emotions for them. Because if you're a fan of football, and if you're a fan of our team and Ukraine, of course, you will be happy and you will have some cool emotions and some boost, as you said, because when you're on the battle line, it's really horrible. It's like the Second World War. It's horrible things happen there. So maybe people don't understand this, and they think that it's some small war and far from people in Europe. But this is pretty the same as we had almost 100 years ago, and it's horrible and it's hard for people who are there. So yeah, it's great boost for them. It's not motivation, it's great. It's just great emotions, which they can get from this match. And of course, it's great that our team managed to win, because after first match we were disappointed, angry, upset, and we said lots of words. for our to our players, and not only average people, all how to say, all people who have YouTube channels, football channels. I mean,
Yeah, there was a lot of
many-
critique, a lot of
yeah, it
critique
was lots
from
of critics.
from everywhere. So I think, and also we have to say that your team did it in an incredible fashion. So you were 1-0 down after halftime against Slovakia, right?
It's
And
our style.
it's your style. I see. I
Yeah.
see. So basically, you were staring at the abyss, right? You were on the verge of being eliminated from the tournament, and you kind of did it in the last minute because you needed some points from this game. Ideally, 3 points, because even 1 point might not have been enough since you lost 3-0. So your goal difference is still not very good. So you needed 3 points.
Yeah, unfortunately, we still need 3 points, and I know it's possible, but it will be hard to get 3 points against Belgium. But we will try,
Mm.
and Slovakia managed to do it. And our group is the most interesting group because before the last game, all four teams can have 3 points.
Yeah, that's
And it,
true. That's true.
and it will be interesting
Yeah,
because
I think
Belgium will win today. And
I think
yeah,
especially Slovakia threw the spanner in the works by beating Belgium 1-0 in their opening game. So now you beat Slovakia, which means you should be able to beat Belgium. You should be able to beat Belgium, right?
yeah, but if think about this in this way, Slovakia won Belgium, and Belgium is better team than Ukraine. So why
Mm.
Slovakia lost Ukraine? It's a
It
question.
makes no sense. You can look at it in any
Yeah.
way you want. But the game you played against Slovakia, it was kind of a game of two halves. I think Slovakia started off really well. They seemed
Mhm.
full of confidence after their amazing win over Belgium, and Ukraine didn't exactly look at their best. But then something changed, and since from the moment you scored your equalizer, um, remind me who scored the goal. Was it Sharapenko? Sharapenko, right?
Mhm. It was Shaparenko.
Shaparenko. Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
a great player, but he got injured. I don't know, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, and he didn't play for a year or two. And
Mm.
only now he back in football and start playing again. Great,
Well,
and then,
an amazing moment for him, an amazing moment to such an important goal, right? And I have to mention Alexander Zinchenko because he plays for my favorite team, Arsenal, and he bagged a really important assist as well. It was a great assist from him, wasn't it?
yeah, I recalled about Zinchenko yesterday too, and I was talking with my brother about this. And Zinchenko is a great player, but it's not great enough to play on I have to say in defense. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, that's true. That's true because actually the goal Slovakia scored was Zinchenko's mistake, wasn't it?
yeah,
So he kind of redeemed himself there with that assist. I think he redeemed himself, and it's the same at Arsenal. He's capable of moments of brilliance when it comes to the build-up, especially the build-up. He can hold the ball really well. He's a good dribbler, and he has good eyes. He can see a lot of things on the pitch. But when it comes to defending, he doesn't exactly cover himself in much glory. He is really a bang average defender, I would say, and that's a problem if you are a defender. Your
but
job is to defend, right? So
that's another big problem because to play in attack, he isn't enough great too. Because in Arsenal there are better players And even in Ukraine team, we have different players, and we need to use different players
Mm,
to
mm, mm.
play in our game. And
Did,
it's a completely complicated situation because we have a great player, but we do not have a place for him.
but there was a time he used to play in the midfield, right? But now he's
Uh,
uh,
yes, but because of his bad season in Arsenal, now we don't use it in this position. We try
now
to use
he's a
the
left back. He's a left back again, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, then. Well, then of course, the best moment for you was that Yaremchuk goal. Yaremchuk, the Valencia striker. I think he was a substitute in this game, right? He came on late, and he managed to win the game for you in the 80th minute. I thought
indeed.
it was a lovely first touch. Or did I say something wrong?
He did similar thing when Dolbeck scores a goal on previous Euro. If you remember this, we played against Sweden, and it was the last minute of extra time, and Dolbeck scores a goal, and something was similar in this match.
Yeah.
When uh, played only for several minutes and score a wonderful goal, and
Yeah, no, these are great stories, and I thought his first touch was exquisite. It was just such a lovely, delicate first touch. I heard people on an English podcast describing it as an Bergkamp-esque first touch,
yeah,
and then he put it past Dubravka. It was it barely crossed the line. Yeah, the defender almost kicked it out, almost cleared it out, but um, fortunately for your team, it went in. And how happy were you at that moment?
yeah, and it was wonderful moment. Of course, it wasn't a moment like with Topic, but it was great moment because we hopefully won the match, and
Oh, you did, you did.
yeah, and
Thankfully, you won it. Yeah.
and and one thing which I noticed is that in this match were great players who needed to change the team or who wanted to get some offer from
Right. Right.
European teams because our like stars didn't show the game which they had to show.
Hmm.
Our player Yaremchuk, Shaparenko, and even Zinchenko, who aren't like a stars now, they showed how our stars have to play.
Yeah. No, that's always a motivation for players playing at the Euros, right? Especially if they think they can do better. Young players, it's their chance to show off their skills and hopefully be noticed. Because everybody is watching the Euros. All eyes are on the Euros. So
Yeah,
that's why it's the best opportunity you can ever have. If you score a fantastic goal, or if you have a great assist, or put put on a great performance, then you will be noticed, by some agents, and
yeah,
hopefully offered
and,
an interesting job.
yeah, and if continue our awards in on this Euro, our not our main goal of team and Shakhtar Donetsk is to sell Sudakov. And Sudakov had to be like a big star in this team, but now he isn't because Shakhtar Donetsk wants to get about 80 millions. And it's no, it's nearly impossible
Well,
to get.
they are a big player in the world, in European football. Shakhtar Donetsk, they have
Yeah,
been around for a while. uh, did Mudrik also come from Shakhtar Donetsk?
yeah.
Mikhail
Only
Mudrik, right? So remember him, how expensive he was, and I don't even. Okay, don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but I don't think he was worth that kind of money. And I think you got an absolute bargain there, Shakhtar Donetsk.
yeah, neither do I, because I couldn't understand why he cost so many money because it's impossible. The player
Well,
had only one great season, not two, not three, one season in Ukraine, and
mm,
he
no, it was
cost
enough. It was enough. Yeah, sometimes these stories happen, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your country. For Mudrik, we wanted him at Arsenal. Now he's playing at Chelsea. He has like a 10-year 10-year contract or something as crazy as that. I think he's getting a little bit better. Like his start was very slow. Now I think his last season was slightly better. So uh, I'm sure he can only get better. So
Because
yeah,
we can play better, but I don't know why we can't. Because our players have practice in European championships, and they play in European teams. They don't play in Ukraine. It's another
you mean
level,
you mean
different.
your point is that these players play well in European teams and they cannot replicate it in the national team? Is that your
Uh,
point?
yes, because in Ukraine, when we were talking about this Euro, it
Mhm.
was mentioned like the best Ukrainian team in history, and players maybe were a little bit self-confident,
Yeah. No,
and
no,
they
it's
to say,
true because if you look at your players, they really play for amazing teams. You have an Arsenal player, you have a Chelsea player, you have a Valencia player, you have how many players do you have at Girona? So
two players, and in this team we have 15 players from abroad,
mm,
because before we have only two, one, maximum three
yeah.
players. Now we have 15 players from different teams
I-
of Europe, but our play is so.
Well, well, hopefully this win can kickstart your campaign and you will only get better. It's about a team, isn't it? Well, look at England. They have superstars and it doesn't guarantee uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, anything, right? It's about how these stars can work together and play as a team, and sometimes even sort of sacrifice their own ego a little bit. It's all about that as well. So, Marian, it's been wonderful to have you on the podcast. Thank you very much for talking
Thank
to me
you.
about the Ukrainian team, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the tournament. You are my number 3 team.
Okay, thank you too for this opportunity and to tell me about our team and Ukraine.
All right, fantastic. Take care and goodbye.
Goodbye.
And as usual, here is the final segment of the Footglish podcast. This is the language corner, or what you might call it. This is where I explain to you some stuff regarding the English language. So today I want to look at a few phrases, you could say idioms. So Slovakia threw the spanner in the works with their win over Belgium, I said. What does it mean? Well, what does a spanner mean, first of all? A spanner is like a metal tool with a sharp end, and it's used to turn nuts and bolts. And imagine you throw this metal spanner into the works in some sort of machine. Uh, it will create a problem, right? It will create a disruption. So that's actually what Slovakia did, because no one expected them to beat Belgium. So they really complicated this group, complicated in a good way for Slovakia, of course. They threw the spanner in the works. Then I said Zinchenko bagged an assist. If you bag an assist, it means you sort of get or achieve an assist, right? So imagine you put it in your bag and it's sort of you've got it. So imagine Zinchenko makes an assist in a game. Well, then it's his. It's in the statistics. Then it's something he has achieved, right? Okay, and then I said, when it comes to defending, he doesn't exactly cover himself in much glory. Again, I was talking about Alexander Zinchenko. For some reason, I was talking about him a lot in this episode. Well, no wonder. He is an Arsenal player, and I support Arsenal. Now, there's a phrase, not to cover yourself in much glory, which is used in the English language in a slightly ironic way. It's an understatement. It's a euphemism for saying that you had a really bad game or really poor game. You were not impressive at all. And we were talking about Alexander Zinchenko. If you say, when it comes to defending, he doesn't cover himself in much glory. It basically means he's a bad defender. But you say it in a slightly humorous way, I suppose. It's a funny phrase, funny idiom that is used often in Britain. Okay, guys, I think that's it. That's enough for today. Let me know if you know any of these phrases, if you use them. Let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to the Footglish Podcast, because that is the only way that you can keep getting your feed, right? Keep getting your new episodes. And in that way, you will never miss any future episodes. Thank you very much for listening. I have been Zdenek Lukas. Thank you and take care. Bye-bye.